Shalom, friends. With Parashat Va-Yehi, the very end of the book of Genesis, we reach a turning point in the biblical tale. Gone are the patriarchs. In this last week's reading, what we read this week, our father Jacob finally dies. And at the end of the Parsha, his son Joseph dies, the end of an era. No longer the time of the ancient greats, we now move into action as the Israelites will suffer under their slavery, will call out to the divine. God will hear them, a force of liberation to bring them out of Egypt to the boundaries of the Promised Land. And that cycle of the Torah, of a people born from patriarchs and matriarchs, and then launched into liberty from a place of slavery and oppression, that story is told again and again and again. And what I'd like to notice is two things. The first is that it's real individuals who created the entire enterprise. Judaism isn't some abstract idea. It's the lifeblood of real people who struggle with imperfect families, challenges in life, struggles, difficulties, burdens, but also with glorious hope, with a refusal to give in, and a determination to help each other be better and deeper and more than they might otherwise be. And the second thing I want to notice about this remarkable Parsha is that it ends not with prose but with poetry. At the end of a book that launches the creation of the world, that brings all of life into existence, that selects a family through Abraham and Sarah, and brings that people into a sense of covenant, of chosenness, it's fitting that it ends with a poem. Because the deepest truths of the heart, they're not truths of prose, they're truths of poetry. The things we know with greatest certainty and what give our lives meaning and joy and boundless vision, those are emotions and an orientation to the world, and an orientation of hope and of joy and of energy and of resilience. So we need to make room for poetry, for fantasy, and for imagination, and for delight, and for dance. These areas that are gifts of the arts and of the imagination, they make life beautiful. And they are our greatest blessing, and they prepare us to endure the hard days under Pharaoh and to be able to do the work of liberation to get us to the promise. So my blessing for all of us is, as we enter into this week's Torah reading, make time to read the poetry. And then maybe curl up with your own favorite book of poetry, or just experience the poetry and the play of your own heart and your own loved ones. That's really the home address for life and for joy and for faith. Shalom.